Hey guys, it's Brandon. I decided today to make a video about dating cis people when you're trans. For those who don't know what cisgender is, it's basically anyone who's not transgendered. So, people who are not transgendered. People, which means a majority of people, because there's not a lot of transgender people. Um, let's see. Okay, so personally, I've only had some problems with dating cis people. Based on, I mean, when it comes to them, actually them being a problem or having a problem, I've only had some problems with them. With the girl I was dating who was cisgendered, having a problem. But that was just basically out of them not really understanding certain things. I think certain things had to be explained. But I'm happy to say that the relationship I'm currently in, there have been no problems personally. And I believe that comes out of, I believe that really comes out of when you really love someone. I think that has so much to do with it. But for cisgender people, I feel like it's hard. I feel like it can be hard on them when you're trans because they don't necessarily, or obviously they don't, since they're cisgender, they don't understand the feelings you get and the downs. When you just get down sometimes from being trans and the things that bother you, they might not maybe understand exactly why. I mean, they understand why things bother you, but they haven't felt it before. So there can be some bad things about dating cis people, but there's bad things about dating anyone. So you can really look at it any way. And it depends on that person too. You just have to find someone who's able to handle it. Somebody who wants to be able to be there for you, try to help you in any way that they can. But for the most part, you should just be treated normally like a normal guy or a normal girl if you're trans. And your significant other shouldn't, put you down or anything like that, or not treat you equally. So there's definitely a difference though. Dating, I mean, I've never dated another trans person, but there's definitely a difference with dating someone cis versus dating someone who's trans, because when two trans people are dating, I feel like there's a better understanding with the whole thing. But like I said, there's good and bad in every relationship. I'll tell you one thing that I'll advise every single trans guy who watches this, who is, I don't know, it's hard to say on both ends, but I know being a guy who dates girls, don't date a bi girl. That's just or a lesbian, obviously. Like, a lesbian shouldn't even consider dating you if you're a trans guy. That's how I think. That's just my advice, is to not date a bi girl. If you do date a bi girl though, make sure she's understanding and she knows that you're one and you're not in between, or you're not the other. That's more of specifically what I'm saying. I'm not saying completely rule out a girl just because she's bisexual, or a guy because he's bisexual. It goes both ways. Just make sure that they know that you're not the best of both worlds or anything like that. You're one, and that's how you stay. Unless you're not transgender and you're non-conforming, or there's lots of gender things out there. I'm talking specifically for me, being trans. But yeah, that's sort of I mean, that's sort of getting into other things now. But for the most part, there shouldn't be a problem dating a cisgender person. For me personally, dating a cisgender person makes me feel better because like when I'm treated right, it makes me feel better because I feel a bit more like I can be more cisgendered if I'm, but yeah, mostly just regardless of dating someone cisgender, transgender, non-gender, whatever, you just have to make sure that you're treated right, because you don't want to be with someone who treats you bad, especially not, I know in my case, you don't want to be disrespected. That's one thing that's really hard, is being disrespected. You don't want that. So just make sure the person you're with respects you and your gender, identity, expression, whole thing. And also just remember to be honest too. I mean, there could be a miscommunication standing in the way with you and your cisgender partner because you're not making something clear, like, well, but for the most part, if you're dating someone, they should probably understand where you're comfortable on every single level of everything. So that's just my view and advice on dating cisgender people when you're trans. And I guess that's all I have to say. So